There once was a future in which humankind was hunted by a machine that could think, and Terminators built to kill. A future without hope.
So we've officially come full circle, and I think the next logical step is to have Terminator robots running the Earth based off of Skynet, destroying everything and leaving nothing in its wake. Humanity is pretty much screwed at this point because we have fake companies posting fake jobs with fake job seekers responding to them, and then AI robots scanning these applications, making these decisions, and basically a whole bunch of fakeness going on. And if you're somebody that's been holding out hope for a remote job, now the headline reads, fake job seekers are flooding US companies that are hiring remote positions, says these tech CEOs. So basically what we have is a rise of companies dealing with a wave of fake job seekers who aren't who they say they are. They're using AI tools to fabricate photo IDs, to generate fake employment histories, and they're even using them to help answer interview questions, do technical assessments, and in some cases, they're actually appearing on camera completely fake. And as AI technologies get more and more sophisticated, there's actually been difficulty with companies trying to identify who is indeed fake and who is real. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But basically, what's being suggested is that by 2028, these AI-generated profiles will make up 1 in 4 job candidates. And the problem is that if they actually get hired, which is to me is insane that one of these people can actually make it through a hiring process and get hired. If that's indeed the case, that truly shows you how broken hiring is if an AI bot is actually getting hired for a job. But if they're hired, this imposter, I guess in theory, can install malware and then demand ransom from a company or steal its data or trade secrets. It's like nowadays trade secrets are just being stolen left and right, and data and all that stuff. So, that's not any major shocker, but I would love to know if there's actually any companies who are actually the first company that hires a completely AI bot. I'm definitely making a video on that. But anyway, what they're saying is basically this mass wave of these fake IDs is going to be completely littering job applications. And that's not a good thing for job seekers for obvious reasons. The first issue is obvious. It's hard enough to get hired as it is, especially for these remote positions where companies can recruit all over the world and applications just flood in. And nowadays, everybody's mass applying for these roles, and they're using brute force. And what's happening is now we're getting thousands of applications per role. And so the person who actually does have a perfect profile, a really good match for the role, is being buried underneath not only people who aren't qualified at all, but now you've got a bunch of these fake profiles. The bigger issue here that I see is that companies are going to have to adapt to this. And what adaptation means is that they're going to have to start creating tools and technologies that start to flag these things. And so those of you who are relying on, auto-applying softwares and like ChatGPT based resumes and things like that, it could start to pose some real serious challenges where you may end up getting flagged into a certain bucket. And so this, it's kind of like a few bad apples are going to ruin for everybody. What could have been a very productive tool, you may have these issues where these fake profiles are just going to proliferate everything. And obviously companies are going to start responding to this. There's just no way that they wouldn't.
There is so much noise out there. And so that's why I've curated all of this into a simple step-by-step guide. These days, how you show up online is the new handshake. It's the first impression you give to your podcast audience, your clients, your employees, your students.
So this generative AI has blurred the line between what it is to be human and what it means to be machine. And they're seeing an increase in individuals using these fake identities, fake faces, fake voices, and basically fake and software development, fake coding skills that are essentially cheating their way into these jobs, and sometimes even going so far as to face swap with another individual who shows up for the job. I mean, that's where the technology is going now. You could potentially have somebody else interviewing on your behalf just to get your foot in the door. And it's, these companies they're fighting off hackers to exploit these vulnerabilities in their softwares, but now they're looking at another threat, job seekers who aren't who they say they are, and wielding these AI tools to basically trick these companies into hiring them. And so this is a major issue, and cybersecurity is probably going to have to start partnering with the talent acquisition teams in order to deal with that. And here's this company of Bright Hire said he first heard of the issue years ago with a number of fraudulent job candidates. He's noticed this has ramped up massively, and this company helps corporate clients assess whether or not these employees are who they say they are through video interviewing. So it's this online, there's certainly been an increase in video interviewing. And every time you turn around, there's a new AI tool that seems to be popping up daily that is promising you that they'll help you get through your interview by giving you chat GPT notes on what exactly to say. Problem is that sounds super robotic, and any astute interviewer is going to call people out on that, and it's not going to be a good result for you.
It's obvious you're reading from somewhere. I want to see your screen immediately.
I can, yeah.
If this is how you handle interviews, you're done.
Here, I can share my screen right now. I'm just a super fast talker. That's just naturally how I talk.
And just in time, or perhaps ironically, Sam Altman has conveniently rolled out a eyeball scanning technology across the United States. So this startup is called Tools for Humanity, which is a startup co-founded by OpenAI executive Sam Altman. And basically what they're doing is they're creating these eyeball scanning orb devices that are set to expand across the United States with novel identification services. This is like straight out of the Minority Report or some bad sci-fi movie, but this is all becoming a reality. And it says starting this week, people in 6 cities, including San Fran, LA, Atlanta, will be able to scan their eyes using a spherical orb device at select locations operated by this startup, Tools for Humanity. Previously, the technology was only available in the US in a limited testing capacity, but it looks like they are now releasing it for more widespread implementation. The company has billed the orb as a powerful tool to verify identities and prove someone is really human at a time when artificial intelligence deepfakes are becoming increasingly convincing. In addition to the US expansion, they are also partnering with Match Group to start using this service with Tinder users. So you'll have to verify that you're not a bot. I guess, like, in theory, that sounds like a great thing. You want to make sure that you're not being catfished online. In fact, there's a use case potentially with LinkedIn where there are so many fake profiles proliferating that site, and it's becoming increasingly more frustrating to post content there and just have it flooded with a bunch of AI bots. Whether or not retina scanning is the right move, I just don't know if that's going a little too far, a little too dystopian for my taste, but nonetheless, that's what they're doing. And jumping over to the Tools for Humanity website itself, here's this orb camera, and this looks like, it's hard to tell what the size of it is, but it looks like it would sit on your desktop or be potentially placed in certain areas where you'd have to scan to access services or whatever the case might be. And again, I'm just trying not to put my conspiracy theory hat on here, but I really hope that this does not start to get used to access things like your bank accounts and money and certain critical services where you have to agree for it to scan your eye. Now, I know that there are certain places that already do stuff similar to this, like airports have some of these eye scanning technologies and face recognition technologies. But the problem is, how do you guarantee that it's being used ethically, and what's happening with the data once they get it? What are they doing with it? Unfortunately, this is where things are heading. With the rise in AI in pretty much every walk of life, this just seems like this is not a surprise to me that this is where we are heading as a society. And I just don't know where does this end? So what are your thoughts? Do you think this is a good thing? And if companies start to require these types of verification in order to apply for jobs, which is potentially where this could be headed, do you feel that this is a little too invasive? Leave a comment and let me know. But anyway, I just wanted to report what I'm finding. I'm going to do another video in not too long about how companies actually can detect AI on your resumes and your job applications and your interviews and that sort of thing. And if you found value in this video, taking just that split second to hit the thumbs up button really does help me continue to do what I'm doing and support the channel. And hit the subscribe button if you want to learn more about where the job market is going. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next one.